Nau mai ki whakamiere. Nau mai ki whakamiere. Welcome to Whakamiere, our podcast where we share reo Māori translations of stories. Today's Paki Poto is different than our usual kōrero. In keeping with te whakanuia o te mana wahine, we are pleased to share with you a poem. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson, here translated as Ko wawata te mea whai raukura. As with our previous wahine author, we're opting to provide some contextual background instead of kupu hou. The following is an excerpt from the Thornwillow Press edition of Emily Dickinson's poems without attribution. The name Emily Dickinson did not appear in a byline until years after she had died. Despite having written nearly 1,800 unique poems, only 11 are known to have been published during her lifetime, and all of them without attribution. Dickinson was, of course, famously reclusive, particularly in the later years of her life. She was also, it seems, reluctant to publish much, if any, of her vast body of work. In fact, whether the 11 pieces that were published were done so with or without her permission remains an unresolved matter. Much has been made of the editorial liberties taken with her work. She altered her line breaks and phrases often enough so as to make these points of controversy, with many critics and scholars accusing the papers of over-editing her and others positing that her editors, in fact, were working from copies of her poems which have now been lost. It is, however, her idiosyncratic punctuation that is most notably and almost uniformly altered in published poems. Thomas Johnson, editor of the groundbreaking 1955 edition of Emily Dickinson's collected works, described her use of dashes as, quote, especially capricious, and proposed that while they often had no explicit grammatical function, they, quote, frequently became visual representations of a musical beat. They replace most forms of punctuation and litter the lines so frequently that they might be considered another letter unto themselves. They are, however, conspicuously absent from most of her published works. As thousands of pages of works and correspondence by Emily Dickinson and old newspapers are digitized, it remains to be seen if the 11 known unattributed publications are, in fact, the only ones. Only time will tell whether Emily Dickinson will continue to publish from beyond the grave. Today's poem is not one that was published during her lifetime. We have, however, kept its integrity in the English and reo Māori written versions with regard to the original punctuation. Kia areare mai o taringa, kia hānea nea hoki te noho, whakarongo mai e hoa mā. Ko wawata te mea whai raukura, nā Emily Dickinson. Ko wawata te mea whai raukura, e noho nei ki te ngā kau. E waiata nei te rangi kaore o nā kupu, e kore rawa nei e tau. Ko tōna reka ka rangona pai i te āwhā, me ngau hoki ngā hau pūkeri, e whakamā i te manuriha, i āhuru ai te tini. Kua rangona i ngā whenua kōtao, me ngā moana tauhou, he oti tino kore rawa nei, i paku nonoi i ahau. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Tēnā rawa atu koe I whakarongo mai ki whakamiere. Thank you for listening to Whakamiere. Did you know that you can now purchase PDFs of our long-form Paki Waitara without needing to subscribe? Simply visit the Whakamiere Patreon page and head over to the shop tab. You'll find all of our Paki Waitara there. We're even including today's bonus Paki Poto. If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to and want to show your tautoko, please leave a like and a review on your podcast app. It makes a huge difference. A big mihi as well to our Patreon supporters, without whom this podcast could not be ad-free. If you have friends in whānau who would like our kaupapa, please share it with them. Head on over to patreon.com/whakamiere to learn about our subscriptions that start at just $6 and to join our whānau whakamiere while you're there. You can also follow us on Instagram. Ko Taurapa au e mihi nui ana, hei a kua nei e hoa mā.